Hello, my name's Faye and today I wanted to show you the 4 books that I got for the 5th instalment of the BorrowAthon, started by Riley at FayesParallelStories. I really think this readathon is really fun. Join in, and it's quite active on Twitter as well, which is always good. The whole point is to read books that you haven't yourself purchased, to sort of show that even though we get caught up in the frenzy of buying more and more books, it's not actually necessary. You can buy lots of books and then not read them, which I am guilty of. But I've also got quite a few borrowed books that I want to read. In fact, BorrowAthon this year has inspired me to go through all the books that I have that are borrowed, the sort of top shelf that you can see. Those are all books that are borrowed from friends, family, and I want to get rid of them within the next 5 months quite strictly. So I'm trying to integrate them more and more into my reading so I don't just sort of hoard books that don't actually belong to me. They take up space and it's rude. They're not my books. So yeah, going back to the BorrowAthon though, there are 6 prompts. It runs from the 4th to the 11th of November, and I'll jump right in and show you the 4 picks that I'm hoping to get to that week. The first prompt is to read a book that you think you'll love. I'll mention that when I actually come to the book for another prompt. I'm double dipping. That's wrong. The second prompt, however, is to read a 2018 release, and I will be reading Roar by Cecilia Ahern. Well, at least attempting to read this. These short stories by Cecilia Ahern are all about 30 different women who find their voice, much in the sort of Katy Perry sense of the word, and roar. This could be a bit of a hit and miss with me. I don't think I've ever read anything by Cecilia Ahern. Usually she writes sort of women's fiction. And I'm expecting this to be quite a light read, and short stories I thought were also going to be a smart pick because I could break that up throughout the week. But I won't hesitate to not finish this book. Another upside to borrowed books. I don't feel bad if I don't end up reading them and put them aside. The third prompt is to read a book that has 150 pages or less. I think this is just on the verge. This might have like 152 pages, whatever. Men Explain Things to Me by Rebecca Solnit is also a book that I'm planning to read for Nonfiction November. So I'm glad that that also fits into that category. This is by the woman who coined the mansplaining term. It's not a long book, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't fit the prompt. I've borrowed this from my mum, who said it was really great. I've meant to read this, so this is as good a time as any. The fourth prompt is to read a book that has an animal in the title. Yeah, and I'm going to read H is for Hawk. This is also non-fiction, I believe, although I'm not really sure how it's classified. Written by Helen MacDonald, all about how she rears a hawk, sort of spurred on by working through the grief of losing her husband, I believe, or her father. I always forget that. I've talked about this before. It's supposed to be quite engaging, despite having quite a sort of random, limited topic. My dad is really into Birds of Prey, so he's really liked this. I'm actually really quite looking forward to this, and expect to like this the most out of the books that I'm going to read, and therefore this will also fulfill prompt number 1, a book that I'm expecting to love. Prompt 5 is to read a book you've never heard of, and prompt 6, which repeats itself every time and is therefore more and more difficult to fulfill, is to read a book that somehow includes a library in the story. And I'm going to read The Invisible Library. Now I have heard of this book before because I have previously researched books that somehow have to do something with a library. But up until then, it was new to me. This is from my library, thus coming full circle, and is, I believe, a sort of alternate universe fantasy series by now about this library in a very loose sense of the world, and the librarians hunt down novels in other universes or characters of the novels, something like that. A friend of mine has read this and really likes it. It's blurbed on the back by N.K. Jemisin, which is an incredibly popular fantasy novel. So this first book in the series by Genevieve Cogman I think could be pretty cool. So those are the 4 books that I'm hoping to get to. I'm definitely hoping to get to read the 3 former ones I read, talked about. The short stories I'm not so sure about, but who knows, maybe that will also surprise me positively. Who knows? I really hope you join in with the BorrowAthon. Who knows, maybe even put in some non-fiction books to, also get non-fiction November in there with you. And at the end of the month, I think I'm going to talk a bit more about how I'm hoping to read all my borrowed books before a certain date. I'll check in with you very soon. Bye, guys.